think we can tell that we're in for a very nice service today. Good morning. Welcome to First Unitarian Church of Cincinnati. My name is Jan Conley, and I will serve as your worship leader today. The more this sanctuary fills with people, the more my heart fills too. It wasn't long ago we were on life support, and now I'm feeling more and more resuscitated every week. I'm grateful to share this service with you this morning, both in person and online. At First Church, you can be your authentic self. Amen. You can bring your questions and your convictions, and you will find kindred spirits who covenant to be a beloved community based in our shared values. We're constantly striving, not always perfectly, to live out those values, including wrestling with uncomfortable truths, such as the knowledge that we occupy land that is the ancestral home of the Adena and Hopewell cultures, the Maiamia and Shawnee peoples. Our congregation strives to be welcoming to all, so you will see signs for various accommodations posted around the church and listed in our order of service. Please ask our ushers if you have any questions. If you'd like to know more about our church or about Unitarian Universalist faith, please contact us by emailing member-care@firstuu.com. The flowers today are given by two admirable longtime members of this congregation who are also longtime partners in an admirable marriage, Barb and Ed Ryder. They celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary on Friday. 50 years. That's a lot of... Before we begin our service today, Dan Schneider from the Social Justice Committee would like to inform us of an issue coming up soon in the state legislature.
Good morning. I need to lean way over so you can hear me because I don't do well with this short microphone. For those of us who live in Ohio, which is most of us, we have a chance within the next few months or the next year at least to do something very important and in keeping with our UU values. We can end the death penalty in Ohio. That can happen. And those of us who live in Ohio can and should play a part in making that happen. Karen asked me to be part of the social justice team and talk about advocacy, speaking to those in power and trying to change policies that affect people's lives. The death penalty is one of those. It's outside of our values. Your chance of getting the death sentence if you commit a serious crime in Ohio are affected by where you live and what is your race. That's a fact. And you can guess how it affects black people in Ohio. If you kill a white person, you are much more likely to be executed than if you kill a black person. Those are the facts. We would like you, I was in a meeting, a Zoom meeting a few weeks ago, almost a month ago, with my state senator, Catherine Ingram. She suggested writing letters, handwritten letters, to all of the members of the state senate in Ohio. They were the first to take this up, and that's what I've done. And I'm going to give you a list today with 8 names and addresses for you to send letters to. You're not in their district probably, but that's okay. And that's why it's best to send handwritten letter. They can't ignore you as much. They can't say you're not in my district if you go online. And these are talking points for you to use. So please consider doing that. And I will be outside in the outer area this morning. I will have paper, pens, stamps, envelopes, talking points, names and addresses. And so please do this. Some people say, well, I'll do it later. I first heard about this from Senator Ingram 4 weeks ago. I just did it yesterday. It's easy to put off. So please do this. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. An important piece of information. And I know that when the midterms came around and we did postcard writing and letter writing, we really mobilized. So hopefully your words today will do that for us again. Now it's time for the greeting. Feel free to mill around and greet your neighbor and say hi on chat if you're online. And when I ring the bowl, please come back to your seat so we can officially begin our service. That comes later. All right, if you'd please resume your seats. We've got a really full service today, so that was just a little shorter than usual. A wonderful service has been planned today for us, a series of alternating readings and musical and video interludes by Mary Tarval Green, Barry Green, Julie Spangler, and Kyle Lewis. The theme is the four elements of nature: fire, air, water, and earth. So with that in mind, Mary will light the chalice today as I share with you this appropriate reflection from Rachel Carlson. I believe natural beauty has a necessary place in the spiritual development of any individual or any society. I believe that whenever we destroy beauty, or whenever we substitute something man-made and artificial for a natural feature of the earth, we have retarded some part of man's spiritual growth.
Good morning. Okay. This is so anti-tech. What I was saying was, in indigenous culture, we call in the four directions. We have an altar to the ancestors with tobacco, marigold, all of our elements. And I'm going to go around to each direction as they face the direction and call it in, and we're going to start with north.
O great spirit of the north, invisible spirit of the air and of the fresh, cool winds, O vast and boundless grandfather sky, your living breath animates all life. Yours is a power of clarity and strength, power to hear the inner sounds, to sweep out old patterns and bring change and challenge, the beauty of movement and dance. We ask that we may be aligned with you so that your power may flow through us and be expressed by us for the good of this planet and all living beings upon it.
O great spirit of the south, protector of the fruitful land and of all green and growing things, the noble trees and grasses, grandmother earth, soul of nature, great power of the receptive of nutrients and endurance, power to grow and bring forth flowers of the field and fruits of the garden. We ask that we may be aligned with you so that your powers may flow through us and be expressed by us for the good of this planet Earth and all living beings upon it.
O great spirit of the east, radiance of the sun, spirit of new beginners, O grandfather fire, great fire of the sun, power of live energy and virtual spark, power to see far, to imagine with bloodless power, to purify our sentences, our hearts and our minds. We ask that we may be aligned with you, so that your powers may flow through us and may be expressed by us for the good of this planet Earth and all living beings upon it.
O great spirit of the west, spirit of the great waters, of rain, rivers, lakes, and springs, O grandmother ocean, deep matrix, womb of all life, power to dissolve boundaries, to release holdings, power to taste and to feel, to cleanse and to heal, great blissful cavern of peace. We pray that we be aligned with you, so that your powers may flow through us and be expressed by us for the good of this planet and all the living beings upon it.
Thank you for directions.
Song of the River, written by Joy Calley, illustrated by Kimberly Andrews. Cam the mountain boy said to his grandfather, "I wish I could see the sea." "One day we will go there," said the grandfather. One spring morning, Cam was playing by his house. He watched a trickle of water running through the pine trees. The water splashed and sang in the voice of snow. "Come with me, come with me. I will take you to the sea." Cam followed the trickle of water in and out of the trees. It joined other trickles and became a creek. "Are you going to the sea?" Cam asked. The creek laughed down the mountainside and chattered over stones. It sang in the voice of a waterfall. Yes, yes, come with me. I will take you to the sea. The creek met another creek and became a rushing stream, which combed the hair of reeds and ferns and hid 1,000 little fishes between its banks. It sang to Cam in the voice of leaping trout. Come with me, come with me. And Cam shouted in reply, We are going to the sea. Near the bottom of the mountain, the stream became a river. It flowed through farms where ducks swam and cows drank and dogs barked, and a farmer took his cream to the town in a small boat. Cam said to the river, You haven't changed your mind, have you? The river sang in the voice of green and gold frogs. We will go, you and me. I will take you to the sea. The river drank in other rivers and became wider, deeper. It went under bridges and alongside roads and railway tracks. It carried a paddle boat full of people on a picnic. And all the time, it sang of the sea in the voice of big brass engines soaked in oil. After a while, the river became so wide that Cam could barely see the other side. The near bank was fenced with factories and wharves with ropes and cranes like sky ladders, and tall ships and small ships and rusty barges and trusty tugboats. There was so much noise that Cam could no longer hear the song of the river. He sighed and sat down. You're too busy to go anywhere, he said. Then the river began to sing in a new, loud voice, the voice of salty wind and crying birds and deep, secret places where whales swam with their young. Come with me, the river called. Cam got up and ran, past the wharves, along the road, and over some sand dunes. In front of him was the sea. It was wild and blue and beautiful, and it went on forever. Cam ran down the beach and splashed his feet in the waves as they ran up the sand. The sea sang him a song about a salty wind and crying birds and deep, secret places where whales give birth to their young, and wharves with cranes and ships with cargo and big brass engines and green and gold frogs and leaping trout and a waterfall. And yes, in a faint whisper, it sang of snow. When Cam went home to the mountain, he said to his grandfather,
Part of being a beloved community is sharing joys and sorrows. In light of time today, there will be no stones and water ritual, but if you would like to share something with the congregation through our Circle of Friends email or in the newsletter, or you'd like to talk with resident chaplain Reverend Mary Tarbell Green, please fill out the form on the back of your order of service and place it in the offering basket when it's passed, or on the desk at the back of the sanctuary when you leave the service. Our August Share the Plate is for the church's work with South Avondale Elementary. The students and staff of South Avondale need our support more than ever, as their needs outstrip available resources. Our Share the Plate proceeds will go toward educational supplies and library books for the students of South Avondale. And I understand that the reading teacher from South Avondale will be here next week to talk about the program. If you're inspired to donate to South Avondale or support the work of First Church, there are several ways of giving. These are now listed in your order of service, and for folks watching online, there are links in the description of today's service on our YouTube channel. Just click on More at the end of the sermon description. If you're visiting with us for the first time, please let the plate pass you by. We're just glad you're here.
Good morning. Our gift from the Cincinnati Symphony and Cincinnati Pops, Julie Spangler. Well, and Barry Green, too. Good morning, beloved scoundrels. So for those that weren't here in I think 2 services ago, our new minister called us scoundrels. And certain people were outraged, like, I'm not a scoundrel. And he was talking about what the dark side, it's really a term of endearment. What's the dark side of that word scoundrel? And so given that we are beloved scoundrel, we're going to look at some of the dark sides of our planet today. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Chris and Patricia, Doug, Sally, all the AVP team. And as Jan shared, this is not a traditional service, so keep greeting your neighbors when we go for coffee, and the stones will not be put in water, so keep those beloved joys and sorrows in your heart and either echo their name or sing during the next part of our service. You know, this summer's been full of beauty and sun, soft rains, flowers blooming, tornadoes, fires, and heat. And so when we first felt the residue of the Canadian fires in our air and the Maui devastation, we wanted to bring our world here today and allow each of us to sink in, explore it, and take with us whatever we feel we can contribute to healing. This is an immersion service today, no popcorn breaks. So feel free to stretch and wriggle and allow yourself to be immersed. In today's service, we honor the four elements. We explore our relationship with them, our dependence, reverence, and juxtaposed damage, irreverence, and exploitation, which has driven this planet into crises. We face that now and plead that we can reckon with our very recklessness. Reckoning today will be experiencing the power in music and in visuals and in reflection of what we take in our heart toward reconciliation. That, my beloveds, will only come as we allow ourselves to feel these words and these notes, deepen into the music, pray and petition, witness and identify with the visuals, and take home a single or more commitment to do better, give better, support better, be better, guardians of our one precious earth. And we begin with fire. Agni, the Hindu god of fire. Nuta, the Native American Algonquin name of fire. Pele, the Hawaiian goddess of fire, who now is in distress. Everywhere and everyone honors fire. Fire, the element, the light of the chalice. The element that heats our food, warms our toes in the winter, toasts our marshmallows in the summer. Today we monitor daily the daily index, decide if the raging fires in Canada will keep us indoors, or will the sheer heat of the record-breaking temperatures, or we ask ourselves, how will Maui recover? How can fire be all things, sacred, ceremonial, comforting, and destructive? What we have done to our sun rays, from life-giving to life-threatening, how can we ignite the flame of hope that we do and can do better? So our petition is warmth and radiance that comes from the glow of one small candle flame. May we know that we too are light bearers for one another, because radiance comes through us, and may it stream loving kindness through us as well, that we may know a difference in our world, one flame at a time. We breathe. It courses through our lungs, keeping us alive with seemingly no effort on our part. And the next. Take a deep breath. Usher in deep into your lung and then exhale, thank you. Do this again and again and again until maybe we can't because fires are burning or the air index or COVID call us to wear a mask. Again, take a deep breath. Air is the gift of life that birds soar on and plants thrive on and that we rely on. So our prayer today is love that rides on the wings of wind. Our breath is one breath that connects all life. May we continue our harmonious dance with air, with our breath, and may we continue to be ever so grateful of each breath and care for it mindfully. Water. An element that is part of our ritual, our ceremonial heritage. Together we dip a stone into communal bowls, honoring and remembering. In other traditions, water baptizes for baptism or renewal. Others dip into a holy bowl and make the sign of the cross to mark entering their sacred space. Daily we wash with it and clean with it and drink from it and play in it. Our body houses it. Each cell in our body is replenished with every sip. Excuse me. We take of this liquid life. Each face and body is renewed by splashing water. It invigorates us. And every day, every day, every day. So, Spirit of water and ultimate healer, we give thanks for rivers and streams, creeks and oceans. May we each know the power of water that ebbs and flows, nurtures and destroys, merges and separates. May we be the gifts of healing and cleansing, and may we be the ebb and the flow of forgiveness and compassion. It's a piggy bank if you want to donate on your way out. Earth. As we honor Earth, our fourth and final element, we're reminded of her precious vulnerability. She may not be here forever unless we, her custodians for our lifetime, care and protect her. We are responsible to shield her from harm, fires, industrial carbon gases, fossil fuels, pollution. As we find our place in nature, in these four elements, we embrace our roles as caretakers for our planet. Oh my, here we sit, atop her belly, our feet resting on solid ground, she, Earth, who nestles us in her curves and her crevices. And we live. We build roads atop her, plant seeds in her belly that bloom and grow. We take her freely, all of her resources and the elements that she so graciously hosts. Earth, Mother Earth, Gaia, our planet, our universe, our world, our precious Mother Earth. And our petition, dear Mother Earth, who cradles us, may we be still and in awe of your beauty. May we be a silent admirer of all that is sacred. May we be reverent of you, Mother Earth, and of one another, your inhabitants. May we learn, appreciate, cherish, and protect you. The Grand Canyon is millions of years old, and we are only here to enjoy its beauty for one short lifetime. The canyon's rivers, rapids are breathtaking. And as the eagle flies, the sacred air it soars on gives shape and life to the clouds below. The fire and the heat from the sun support animal and human life. This remarkable stone theater is a heaven on earth to all humanity. These amazing images of the Grand Canyon give mystical inspiration and spirit to our past, to our ancestors, and to our presence on earth and for future generations, all happening at the same precious moment. And while the canyon is a microcosm of the expanse of nature, its beauty and grace is truly available in every corner of our earth. And the four elements enrich and sustain our lives and souls in glaciers and lakes, creeks and streams, and every body of water. As we find our place in nature, in rivers and waterfalls, and walks through the woods, in our own homes, in the air that we breathe, in our gardens, and if we are grateful for the elements as they enrich our hearts and minds and bodies and spirits, elements that are freely given to all species who inhabit this planet. This gift of life on earth is a responsibility, it's a high calling. And from this day forth, may the transformational experience of nature and all who inhabit her home become one. For it's here for us to enjoy and to preserve, protect, and most importantly, to share. We have a responsibility to help preserve this planet for future generations. This has been given to us as a sacred trust. Spirit of life, grant us the power of water to accept with ease and grace the things that we cannot change, the power of fire for the energy and courage to change the things we can, the power of air for the ability to know the difference, and the power of earth for the strength to continue on this path. And may we say Amen, Ache, may it be, and so it is.
I think I need to take a moment to commend the people who put this service together today. It's Emmy quality, right? I mean, PBS special. And the number of hours to coordinate the images and the music so perfectly coordinated and linked together. The birds, flapping of the wings in time with the music, and so much else. Such a fine thing that we have people here in our congregation that can give us this. Thank you so much. Now, please join me in reading together the words that will appear on the screen as we extinguish our candle. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment that we carry in our hearts until we are together again.